There is no challenge greater than the challenge to improve yourself and the world around you. So why not accept the challenge of saving the world and acting united against global warming? I accept the challenge, and I set out to optimize the green energy that is taking the world by storm today. In 1890, a French-German engineer invented an engine that was named after him. Can you guess who I'm talking about? His name was Dr. Rudolf Diesel. His invention led to the second industrial revolution, improving the lives of people in the world and making production faster, but our nature was negatively impacted by the resulting pollution, leaving us today with a big environmental mess. To reduce this alarmingly high carbon dioxide emission, researchers started looking for an alternative energy source, one that is scalable, green, and what they found is not something you would expect. It's microalgae. Microalgae are microscopic algae that lives in the sea, in the fresh, and even in wastewater. They have lived on Earth even before dinosaurs. In fact, 2,000 years ago, they were used by Chinese people as a food during famine time. Microalgae can do magic. They are emitting more than the half of the atmospheric oxygen, and they're absorbing more than 30 times more carbon dioxide than trees. So whenever you see colored water, this means microalgae exists. It's a green fuel of the future that could be produced by a zero-waste process, theoretically. But there is a need of some sort of innovation to turn it into a truly zero-waste process, and that's where I came in. Microalgae biofuel, it's something else. It's only minimally toxic. It's only 6 times more toxic than table salts, and 17 times less toxic on the aquatic medium, which means if a tanker of microalgae fuel is spilled in the ocean, it wouldn't create the same devastation created by the crude oil. It's safe during transportation. It's scalable. According to United States Department of Energy, more than 14% of United States Navy forces oil need met with microalgae, and it would only take a microalgae farm the size of Texas to produce enough fuel to meet the energy need of the whole world. So it's wow. It's something wow. Concerning microalgae fuel, what's the challenge? Microalgae isn't something that you can take from the sea and put in your car. It should be physically and chemically transformed, and this is what we mean by the algal refining. Microalgae contain lipids, the fuel of the future, and contain a mix of carbohydrates and protein that should be removed. There is a similar point between the algal refining and traditional crude oil refining, where crude oil, it's normally transformed and converted into petrol or fuel, into biochemicals. But the main difference between the algal refining and traditional crude refining is in terms of the raw materials. So we are using microalgae instead of the crude oil, and in terms of the technology applied. Algal refining nowadays remains energy demanding and doesn't respect the principle of the green chemistry, and it remains too complicated to be applied. So what I did is I worked on simplifying the process of the algal refining. To simplify the process, I just simplified the process of biofuel production by eliminating some steps to make it simple. So I have eliminated the cell disruption, which take more than 30% of the energy demand during the process. And instead of throwing away the residual protein, I took them and I selectively extract them in aim to turn them into an edible food. And to respect the principle of the green chemistry, I have used only green solvents, which is the water and the carbon dioxide. So why carbon dioxide? Because it's cheap, it's inert, it's odorless, and it can selectively extract the lipid, the source of fuel from the microalgae. As a result, I was able to selectively extract 97% of lipids from the microalgae using green solvent. Second, I was able to selectively extract 98% of proteins from the microalgae using water, and a technique never investigated before, ultrasound using 12 kilohertz as a frequency, not harmful on human health. This part of my PhD was patented, and I won the prize of the best PhD 2018 from France. And here, I'm one of the 5 experts in my domain in my country. So what's the main challenge? It continues. Because of the global warming and the pollution, more than 70% of our lakes and rivers have been invaded with microalgae. We are sea color in our lakes. So they are full of microalgae, and instead of benefiting us, they are hurting us by emitting cancer-causing toxins. So what we can do? Paradoxically, those same microalgae contain a huge quantity of anti-cancer proteins. So instead of mourning victims of cancer, why not adding those anti-cancer proteins in our drinking water so we can help victims of cancer and those at high risk? So help me spread the word and make cancer a relic of the past, because we should invest in microalgae. Thank you.